Hey, and welcome to Dirty Lazy Girl, a podcast that offers realistic girlfriend support and problem solving for imperfect people.
You don't have to be perfect to be successful. Every week, we'll give you unconventional, dirty, or lazy problem solving strategies. Let's get started. Welcome to season 3 of the Dirty Lazy Girl podcast. Today's challenge is how to satisfy your craving for Southern comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. That makes my mouth water just saying it.
I want to go, like I'm on my porch with my rocking chair.
Yeah. What Southern food do you like?
Oh, I think I like it all. Can I go with that? Is there a box that I can check and be like, I love all of it?
I know. I think of mac and cheese, ribs, cornbread chili.
Yeah, I think of like fried green tomatoes. I think about sweet tea. I think about blackened fish, right? Lots of seafood. I think about it all.
It's the best part of American cooking, in my opinion.
It's just comfort food where it hits home. So we want to help our listeners today with some of those cravings. And so specifically, listeners, we're going to be talking about how to make one of my favorite recipes. It is called Ready or Not cornbread. Okay.
Wow.
You like cornbread, Tamara?
I love cornbread and I haven't had any in forever. So I am just so excited because I haven't tried the recipe.
Well, you've been waiting for this very exciting moment where we're going to teach our listeners. It's from the Dirty Lazy Keto No Time to Cook cookbook, where every recipe can be made in 30 minutes or less. So that's our challenge today, to teach you how to make a really simple cornbread recipe that's low carb, it's keto friendly, and tastes delicious.
Are
you ready for the challenge?
I think it's going to be a major challenge because don't you need corn for cornbread?
That is the most exciting question. You do not need corn for the Dirty Lazy Keto cornbread.
Okay, but
spoiler alert, there is no corn, but it looks and tastes just like cornbread. So I know I'm up for like a huge challenge here.
Yeah, you must be miracle worker.
Today we're going to perform a miracle.
Okay, let's do it.
And we're in the Dirty Lazy Keto test kitchen. Tamara's got her apron on. Bless her heart, she cleaned her kitchen. She's organized. Stephanie took the lazy route. I am in the studio, as you may have noticed for our YouTube watchers. Yeah. So please forgive me, but we're going to walk everybody through the details of how to make this amazing recipe. And just to preface this, I want to let everybody know it's going to serve 9 people. And you always want to know how many net carbs it is per serving. The answer is 2. So 2 grams of net carbs per serving. It serves 9. And just to get it out there, I know someone's going to email me and be like, well, how much do I weigh it? Is it a half cup? Is it a 1 cup? Is it a quarter cup? Okay, this is what you do. You take whatever your shape looks like of your cornbread, you cut it into 9 equal pieces, and each piece is 2 grams of net carbs.
Sounds great. But you got to
Tamara, I'm going to ask you a tricky math question.
Okay,
this is lazy keto, people, so don't be nervous. Tamara, what would happen if you ate the entire dish of cornbread at once? How many net carbs would that be?
9 times 2, which is 18.
Okay, I might have clapped over your answer.
It's all that homeschooling.
It was all that homeschooling. Tamara has a PhD. She got it right. So she said it would have been 18 grams of net carbs for the whole dish because that was 2 grams of net carbs per serving times 9 servings. It's not complicated.
Right. And unless you want to spend all your carbs on cornbread, I don't recommend eating the whole pan, although I think you'll want to.
It might taste that good, but as always, you want to have a balanced nutrition. There's lots of other food groups out there besides the cornbread. So spread the love, share it with your family. Okay. Yes. You ready to get started, Tamara?
I'm so ready. Let's do this.
Without further ado.
All right. What's the first instruction here?
Well, one of the things I do recommend in the cookbooks is to look over the whole recipe, which I am guilty of never doing. Okay. I always just jump in and then I realize halfway through I don't have what I need. Like the pan size, like for example, the pan size I recommend that I develop this dish for is a size 9x7 dish. And this is what that shape looks like. Do you have a 9x7, Tamara?
Well, it's funny you should ask because I was in a panic because I was looking and I have a pan, and I had to get out my measure. It's 9x9.
See, already Tamara's breaking the rules.
I know. And I'm like, Stephanie, what do I do? Tell me what your answer was.
Well, I was like, here's the deal. You know, life is not perfect. The recipe that I developed was with a 9x7 recipe because that's the size pan I happen to have in my kitchen. Okay, I was cheating there on my end. But if you have a different size pan, go with it, but you may have to modify the cooking, you know, slightly different. I'm not really sure what size you have, but you'll have to just check on your time a little bit differently than mine.
Yeah. So since mine is 9x9, it's a little bigger and it's going to
Okay.
spread a little thinner. I'm just going to check early, like, if it's 20 minutes baking, I'll just check at 10 and 15 minutes just to make sure it's not done too early.
There you go. See,
Yeah.
you're wild and crazy. It's okay, people. Break the rules. Don't be afraid to try
Yeah.
new things and maybe experiment based on what you have available.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get
Good.
that out of the way. Because
So
I know
we gotta get
that
our
was gonna be a
pan.
question. Everyone's like, "But I don't have that." Right. And so go ahead and heat up your oven, Tamara, to 375 Fahrenheit.
Got it.
Done. A plus.
Done.
Yay!
Woo!
Woo!
Got our
Tamara's
pan.
cooking.
Got our oven.
Cornbread. You did good.
All
And
right.
then next thing you're going to do is get out a medium mixing bowl.
Do I grease this pan?
Oh, well, we haven't got to that point.
Okay, so I'll
Did
wait.
we? Oh, yes,
Okay.
yes, we did get to that point. Oh my gosh. Tamara, grease the pan. She's already making me feel like I forgot a step.
Well, you
This
could do
is why
it
it's
just
teamwork. We
you
need
could do
to
it
have
just
teamwork.
before you put it in.
Thank you. So please, Tamara, demonstrate how to see. I'm not in the kitchen. That's why I messed
Okay.
up already.
I know.
ahead.
I'm using just spray oil. So
Okay.
I'm going to just spray it because I'm lazy and I'm not. There we go. Done.
Okay. Thank goodness, Tamara. It was all that math you did earlier. It warmed up your brain.
I'm sharp today.
She's on it, girlfriend.
Okay.
Way to go. All right. So I was jumping ahead to getting out my medium-sized mixing bowl.
Okay. Got that.
Okay. Got that. And we're going to go ahead and get our first ingredient out, which is 1 cup of super fine blanched almond flour. Now hold
I
that up.
have my store brand. So, because I'm cheap.
Well, I buy my almond flour at Costco. Where do you get yours?
Ah. This was at Rayleigh's, which is probably a West Coast Central Valley thing, I think.
The thing I would look for our listeners when they're shopping for an almond flour is I've learned that super fine has less carbs than
Yes.
like regular fine, whatever that
Yes.
means. Isn't that weird?
It is weird, but whatever. Good tip,
Whatever.
though.
Get your
Yeah.
super fine,
Yeah.
like super fly, super fly,
Right.
super
All
fine.
right, so I got my almond, 1 cup of almond meal, fine almond meal.
Super fine,
Okay,
super fine.
like us.
Super fine. Can I say it one more time? I'm sorry. So after you get your 1 cup of super fine blanched almond flour, you're
Okay.
going to put that in your medium mixing bowl. Then you're going to
Okay,
move
got
on
it.
to your next dry ingredient, which is going to be 2 tablespoons of coconut flour.
Okay, this one I got is Bob's Red Mill. Again, it doesn't matter the brand, right?
I don't think so. Coconut
Okay.
flour is all kind of similar. And what
Okay.
that does, just in case you're curious, Tamara, is it adds a little bit more moisture to your recipe.
Yeah.
Almond flour can be quite dry, so adding some
Yeah.
the coconut flour gives it a little bit.
Okay, and that was 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to dump that
2
in.
tablespoons. Dump that into
Okay.
your dry bowl.
Perfect.
Check.
Okay. Check.
Check. Next ingredient is going to be a 1/2 tablespoon of baking powder.
Okay. I got that from my baking powder. Okay.
Very
so-
good. And notice for our people on YouTube, that's not the yellow box. That is the round
No.
one.
Yeah.
People
This
get-
is
Baking powder and baking soda mixed up. And I'm talking about the round one. It's called baking powder. It's a 1/2 tablespoon.
yeah. Okay. I'm going to put that in.
I don't want to be like
pre-measured
all basic, but my
know.
husband's like, make sure you say that.
it.
Because
It does get confusing.
it does get confusing.
Yeah.
And also make sure your baking powder is fresh. I learned that from my mom
Oh.
that if you use old baking powder, it loses its potency.
Oh, wow. I wonder what point does it get old? This is pretty old.
I have no idea. But
Probably, yeah. And I don't see a date on it. We should look that up.
yeah, we should look that up.
Okay.
Or maybe someone
All
will email us and tell us. Next on our list of dry ingredients is a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, just regular
Okay.
old salt.
Okay. I got my table salt here. So a 1/2
Perfect.
teaspoon. Okay.
And we're going to pause there and stir.
Okay, so
Stir those dry ingredients together. Combine them.
Okay.
They're just dry. And you should always do that with any kind of baking. Always start with your dry ingredients first and get those blended. Otherwise, you get weird clumps of like baking powder sticking around.
Yeah, and especially in cornbread, you'll get a big bite of baking soda or baking powder. It's not nice.
No, we don't.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got it pretty good. I know.
We're doing so well today.
All right.
I'm excited.
It's good.
We're doing good. Okay. So next in the recipe, Tamara, we are going to do another separate bowl.
Okay.
And
separate bowl. Hang on. Does it need to be big or small? Is this okay?
Yeah, it's totally
okay.
Fine.
All right, separate bowl.
And now we're going to do our wet ingredients.
Okay.
So the first wet ingredient we want to add is 2 tablespoons of full fat sour cream. Full fat sour cream.
Got that already pre-measured out.
And if people are new to Dirty Lazy Keto, sometimes they're a little bit astonished about having full fat dairy. They're all,
yeah.
It's okay. Take a deep breath and use the full fat dairy. It's good for you. I promise.
And it gives it a really good flavor, I have to say. Full fat.
Yeah, that's where the deliciousness comes from. Yeah. If you're eating low-fat garbage all the time, it tastes like you're eating cardboard, right? Yeah. Do you remember eating like fat-free cheese when you were in the 1980s?
Oh, it was awful.
It was terrible.
It was awful.
That's why we were all so hangry.
No, we were.
We were all hangry in the 80s with our leg warmers on.
Nothing tasted good.
Nothing tasted good. We were constantly starving.
And this will probably give moisture to it, I'm guessing, too.
Yes. Yeah, that full fat will give that cornbread consistency and flavor and deliciousness. Good. That Dirty Lazy Keto is known for. Yeah. So adding to your wet ingredient bowl, next, Tamara, is let's see if I can read my own writing. Maybe I might need my glasses. Okay, that would be 1/4 cup of unsalted butter melted.
Okay, I need to melt mine real quick.
Okay, go ahead. Mine's room temperature here for demonstration purposes. And again, with the full fat, we love real butter, not margarine. I like unsalted butter. That way I can control the amount of salt, especially when I'm baking. But if you don't have unsalted butter, it's not a big deal. You would just cut back on the amount of salt you added to your recipe.
And the cheese will add some salt too. So
it's yummy.
Okay. All right, got it. So just pour this on the sour cream?
Yep. You're just combining all of your wet ingredients.
Okay, got the butter.
Done.
Check.
And our next ingredient will be 2 medium eggs beaten.
Okay. I don't have those let me crack
beaten. They're not beaten yet.
They've already been beaten.
They've already been beaten.
Yeah. Okay, so I got those cracked. And I'm going to give it a whisk here and then just pour it into the wet.
Yep, pour it into your wet.
Okay, got it.
And don't be afraid of eating eggs. I mean, eggs are kind of the most perfect Dirty Lazy Keto food. They're high in protein, they're high in fat. They're filling, they're easy, portable. Eggs in any format are just such a staple. So make sure you're eating lots of yummy eggs.
Okay, I got that. Here's what it's looking like, just unmixed.
Just unmixed. Okay.
Okay.
And then we're moving on to 12 drops of liquid 0 net carb sweetener.
Okay.
And I'm curious which one you have.
I have stevia.
Okay.
I just happen to have it on hand.
I have some stevia drops to show our YouTube folks too. And I also have a monk fruit drops to show. Oh. So I have a couple of different choices here. And either one. And I think a lot of folks really enjoy using the liquid because even though we're dirty keto, some people are uncomfortable with the maltodextrin, which is inside of the powdered, as a stabilizer or whatever. Oh, so some folks are using more of the liquid.
You said 12 drops?
That is correct.
Okay, I'm going to do that right now.
That would be 12 drops.
Okay, got it.
I can hear your little drops. That was funny. It's like bloop, 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 bloop.
All right.
That was hilarious. Bloop, 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 bloop. I had my son helping me this weekend. We were, just reviewing, getting ready, and we kept losing track. Has that ever happened to you?
Yes. That's
so
why,
embarrassing.
as you mentioned in another cooking, is to have all the ingredients already out ahead of time. You call that mon plank or something.
Yeah, it's a fancy French term called
Yeah.
mise en place, which
En
I call
place.
get your crap out. It's a very formal term at Dirty Lazy Keto.
And
Because
that
if you
does
don't get
help
your
you.
stuff out, then you've realized halfway through you're missing something, right?
Exactly. So that keeps you on track.
Keeps you on track. Okay,
Do
so
I
go
stir
ahead,
this
Tamara.
yet?
Yeah,
Because
go
I really
ahead.
want to stir it.
I know you're excited. You're my A+ student. Go ahead and stir all those
Okay.
wet ingredients and combine
right.
them really nicely.
Okay, got it.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Now
I'm fake stirring. See my empty bowl?
the sour cream now it's taking a little bit to work in. Is that normal?
I don't know.
Okay.
Just stir away. We'll chit chat.
I don't know if you could see it. So it looks smooth except for a little bit of sour cream. So I'm going to keep stirring it till the sour cream gets a little more. Okay.
And in the directions, I think I say thoroughly combined. That's the technical term in the cookbook.
And
thoroughly combined.
It looks a little bit like a pancake batter.
So kind of thickish.
Yeah. Okay. A little thinner than a pancake batter.
Got it. So once you're done with that, Tamara, and you feel comfortable about the way it's combined, your sour cream looks
good. I think that looks good.
Yeah, that looks super. You're going to go ahead and then combine the wet with the dry in whichever bowl you prefer. And then
I will
stir it up.
Okay.
You're doing so well.
Pretty easy.
You're like an expert baker now.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about that, but okay. And then it's going to look like, it's kind of thick. Oh, actually that made it look a lot like cornbread batter.
Oh my goodness. The miracle is happening.
I know. So if you can see, it's like kind of like, thick and a little bit lumpy, but just like a normal cornbread batter, a non-keto.
Just like you'd expect.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think people that are like not used to cooking should be intimidated by this because this is a quick recipe. Yeah. You know, once you get the hang of it, you just stir those ingredients and then you can combine the wet, the dry. And then right at the very end, Tamara, we're going to add our last secret ingredient.
Okay.
Secret ingredient. And this is our 1/2 cup of shredded cheddar cheese.
Okay. And just dump it right on top?
Just dump it right in. And then you're going to fold that into your mixture.
Okay. To go back to I took high school cooking class.
Yeah. And tell everybody what fold means then, since you're the expert.
Okay. So in my cooking class, the instructor said it's to take it and then literally dump it over.
Okay.
And turn your spoon over with the food in it. I don't know if you could see me doing that.
You're just kind of
rotate the spoon over.
Well, that's very fancy.
That's what my cooking teacher told me.
Well, I might need to consult that one. It's funny because my husband and I argue about the word fold because, you know, he is the one that types all the directions and I'm the creative person who's crazy throwing things together. Yeah. And he's like, just throw it all in there and stir it up. I'm like, no, you must fold.
Yeah. Well, she said it incorporates air into your batter a little bit.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. It's just to get a little fluffiness.
Well, we don't want to go wrong. So listen to your teacher. Tamara's the teacher, people. When in doubt, you listen to the teacher.
All right. Thanks to Mrs. D. Lamont. She's the one who taught me that.
Shout out to the 7th grade home ec teacher.
Yes.
That's funny.
Okay.
And so now we're ready to throw it in your 9x7 pan. Yep.
Okay.
And I use a scraper so that way you don't miss a drop and just scrape it on in there. And your oven should be all preheated and tinging and tanging.
Yeah. And it's nice and thick. Like the more you stir it, the thicker it got. So now it didn't really like spread out. So I just spread it out with my spoon, right?
Yep. Go ahead and use your spatula, your rubber spatula, and you can pat it and smush it. You can use your fingers if you need to.
Okay. And then
it takes on your shape of your pan.
Yeah. You want it nice and even, I'm assuming, so it doesn't overcook in one spot.
One of the secrets with cooking, you know, and all the recipes in the Dirty Lazy Keto No Time to Cook cookbook, they're all made in 30 minutes or less. So one of the tricks that I talk about, and this goes for meat, for breads, for anything, is having food spaced out, having food spread thin, then it cooks faster.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems kind of obvious, but people sometimes think, oh, I don't have time to cook. You've got 30 minutes. You can whip up something together in 30 minutes.
So look how nice that looks. It's probably about a 1/2 inch thick, maybe. Half an inch.
And you do have a different size pan, remember?
So it might be slightly thicker if you have Stephanie's 9x7.
There you go.
Okay, I'm going to throw this in the oven.
Throw it in the oven. Toss it in, girlfriend.
Oh, cannot wait.
You're like, so I'm going to have some cornbread. I'm going to have some corn. And while it's cooking, we should talk a little bit more about Southern food. How many minutes to set your timer for, Tamara?
I don't know. Is it 20? I forget. You tell me.
So for my instructions with the 9x7 baking dish, you're going to want to bake this for at 375 degrees for 25 minutes.
Okay. I have a Dirty Lazy Keto timer here.
How cute are you?
Yeah, you gave me that. You said 30 minutes?
No, 25. Okay,
and I'm going to set mine for 20 because I have a small, a bigger pan.
Let's do that.
Perfect. And before we go on, do we just serve it as is, or you want to talk about that later?
Good question. No, let's talk about that now.
Okay.
Also included in the recipe, because I want to make sure you have everything needed on hand. I talk about, later when it comes out of the oven and you're ready to enjoy it, I recommend serving it with some sugar-free syrup. And if you were going to serve this, like, let's say at dinner, and you want to make sure you have enough for everybody, 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. So hold that up there. Have that on hand. And then a 1/4 cup sugar-free pancake syrup. So these two together, that was calculated into the net carbs for the whole recipe. That way you know what you're getting into. You can still enjoy the syrup and the butter.
Oh, I'm so glad you did that, because I would be like, oh, now I have to. It seems tricky. It's 2 carbs, but now I have to add in that.
Yeah, we don't want it to be
stressful. You've already added it.
So make sure you have some just, softened butter on hand to serve it with, and then also some sugar-free pancake syrup. Which kind of syrup do you have, Tamara?
I have Maple Grove Farms, some funky brand. I don't know. It was just on sale.
I think I've gotten that at Grocery Outlet.
Yeah, it was some bargain brand. But I've noticed some taste a lot better than others.
Yeah, some are thicker than others. Have you found that too?
Yeah. These are one of those things if you don't like a brand, try a different one. They taste quite different, actually.
Yeah, very surprising how different the sugar-free syrups can be. And I also like Mrs. Butterworth's sugar-free syrup because it's a little bit thicker. Yeah. So you have to kind of, like you said, try different brands.
Yeah. Now, is it still, because I actually am weird. I don't like my cornbread super sweet. So can I just leave this off? Will it taste good without the syrup?
You can do you.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite parts about Dirty Lazy Keto is that you have to modify things to your taste and preference, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to be stuck making something that makes you, upset. Yeah. So you do you.
Okay.
So we promised to kind of talk about Southern cooking in general while this is cooking in the oven before we show you the final product.
Yay.
Okay. So I wanted to show you a couple things I had on hand, but what are some of your ideas, Tamara, to make a low carb kind of Southern meal with this?
Well, my favorite, I don't know if this is Southern or not, but I grew up eating chili and cornbread. I love the combination. In fact, we would just crumble our cornbread on top of the chili. Ooh. It's like really good memories for me. Chili is a tough one, but you can help me because I had to call you earlier because I'm like, what do we do for chili? You can talk about your recipe, but I did see online they have one chili brand that's canned chili with no beans that's still low carb. It was Skyline, I think was the name. I've not tried it. So if listeners are out there have tried it, let us know. But it's actually hard to find a canned chili, even without beans, that's still low in carb. They're still pretty high, right?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the Skyline because I was, thinking, oh, maybe I could find that or look at my local store, and I had trouble finding it. But then when I looked online, I looked at the nutrition label and it said, oh, it's only 1 gram of net carb per serving. I thought, oh, that's fabulous. But then I looked at the serving size.
Oh, no.
2 tablespoons.
Oh,
2 tablespoons. Are you kidding me?
Jerks.
I'm sorry, Skyline, but we're a little bit upset with you for making a serving size of chili 2 grams.
Yeah, that's and can Denison or Hormel or one of those others please make a low carb No bean chili. Come on, really? Because I think I was looking and they're high. They're like 20 grams of carb per serving, even without beans. So yeah,
Maybe
they
our
need to.
listeners, if they know of one, they can email
Yeah,
us or make a comment, especially on
yeah,
YouTube. That would be really helpful to everyone that's
yeah,
watching. But
yeah.
if you're trying to make one at home, I do have chili recipes included in, I think, all of the Dirty Lazy Keto cookbooks, but I know for sure there's one inside of the No Time to Cook cookbook, and it's
Yeah.
included with the chili dog recipe.
Okay. Ooh, chili dogs, yum.
I'm like,
Yeah. So in that one, you're gonna say it. Go ahead.
Well, whenever you're, like you said, you were worried about the beans kind of being responsible for the higherness and carboliciousness. Usually it's tomato or beans that are responsible. And if you haven't tried these Eden organic black soybeans, these are available online, but these are wonderful and they're 1 gram of net carbs per serving. And that serving size is very generous. It is a half cup. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So you can have bean chili.
You can make bean chili.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you could just add, I think in your recipe, you have like turkey burger and beans and then all the spices. Do you use any tomato in it or how do you?
You're going to have to look at the cookbook and find out.
Okay. I need to try it. All right.
I'm going to challenge you, Tamara. And then I want you to invite me over because then we're going to have lunch.
I know. Cornbread.
I'll bring the cornbread. You make the chili.
All right.
You can only handle so much cooking in one day.
I know. Well, what do you eat with your cornbread?
Well, I was thinking about, I like to cut a lot of corners, obviously, just because I'm eating, low carb. I don't necessarily think I need to cook everything from scratch. I'm lazy, right? That's the lazy part. Dirty Lazy Keto. So what I like to do is buy like a rotisserie chicken or buy some kind of pre-made meat at the store. I make sure not to buy the seasoned variety, and then I'll spice it up myself. Have you ever tried the sugar-free barbecue sauce? This one's by
really good.
C. Hughes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love it.
I like that one too. That one's my favorite actually.
And they have like different flavors, right? They have like the jalapeno, the blah, 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 blah. And this one has 2 grams of net carbs per 2 tablespoon serving, which is delicious. Yeah, really easy. And that way you don't have to make everything, right?
Yeah.
I also like to do blackened or spicy meals if I'm going to cook it myself. And I pull out a couple of the spices that I use. I'm digging them out of my little secret bucket here. But if you're making like blackened fish or you wanted to do some kind of pork chop and add more spicy seasonings, these are kind of fun. This is by Kinder's. I love this one. It's a tequila lime spice. Here's another one, blackened redfish seasoning. I also like by Tony. I can't even read that. Rockers or Tony's. He has a Creole seasoning, and this one's my all-time favorite. I got this in New Orleans. It's called Slap Your Mama. Slap Your Mama.
Ooh,
so those are a couple of my picks. What about you?
Well, I just recently tried. If you don't want a sugar substitute in your barbecue sauce, I tried one from the Primal Kitchen. Oh, that's no sugar substitute. And it wasn't bad, actually, I have to say. And if you don't want a super sweet barbecue sauce, and you don't want sugar substitute, try the Primal Kitchen one. It's pretty good. It's more for like a paleo diet, but it works for Dirty Lazy Keto too. So that one I recommend.
I saw one at the store when I was researching for the episode, and it contained allulose. And I was like, oh, we just did an episode on allulose.
Yes.
It was the Kinder's brand.
Okay.
So there's more than one choice. And it's not like you have to order these things specialty. I found them all at my local grocery store, and I was surprised. The section is really growing.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe, the Primal Kitchen one, they had all their products, which are all no sugar and no sugar substitute, if that's for you.
If that's your jam.
Yeah, if that's your jam. But you know what? You could slap on some sauce or some of those seasoning on a meat, put it in the oven at the same time as your cornbread.
Oh.
Perfect. There you go.
Especially if you bought it prepackaged.
Yeah. How easy would that be?
No one will ever know. It's like going back to our Thanksgiving turkey leg episode where we talked about cheating.
Yeah, seriously.
Cheating on cooking, right?
I mean,
you can't overwhelm yourself trying to like make everything from scratch and then, give up.
Yeah.
It's like make one thing from scratch, enjoy it for a few days, and then, round out the rest by taking some shortcuts.
Yeah. And you throw in some cornbread, a salad. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, what kind of drink would we do with a Southern cornbread barbecue chicken?
Even some green beans in the air fryer, some
Oh,
asparagus.
yeah.
That would be good.
Oh, that
That would be
sounds
yummy.
delicious.
I know, right? I'm like, I'm hungry. I'm hangry. What are we drinking? What would you make to go with it?
Well, if you're going Southern, I would say sweet tea, right?
Oh, do you make your own sweet tea, Tamara?
I don't like sweet tea. I'm sorry, Southerners. I just offended you. Bless your
It's
hearts.
okay. Bless your hearts.
I know.
On the porch. But it sounds like you don't make it then.
No, but my family are big sweet tea drinkers.
Mm-hmm.
And so they use like simple syrup.
Oh.
The real sugary, syrup, and then pour tea.
I see.
Into simple syrup.
Yeah, I've had that, and it's like so thick that the spoon practically stands up in the sugar.
Yes.
It's so sugary. I found this one at Walmart the other day, which I don't know if you've tried this, Tamara, but it's called Milo's 0-calorie sweet tea.
Oh, wow. No.
And they sell it by the gallon. And so I bought a gallon plus one of these individual bottles, and I love it. And it was like $3 for a gallon.
Is it sweet? I know you like your super sweet.
I like things so sweet that I feel like I'm getting a cavity when I'm done drinking it.
And this one is?
It's so sweet. It's so good. And it's 0 calories and it's 0 everything. And that warms my heart. So thank you, Milos. You've spoken my language.
Who knew they'd have sweet tea?
I know, right? At Walmart. Well, can I show you one more?
Oh, yeah.
Now, this one might make you laugh. This one might make you laugh. Okay, this is Tennessee whiskey. This is Jack Daniels, people.
Nice.
Now, for all of our adult listeners, what's wrong with having a little whiskey? You can put that in your tea or a little shooter, because with Dirty Lazy Keto, you can enjoy alcohol. And I think that's different from maybe paleo or strict keto, where you're, like you said, trying to eat so perfectly clean all the time. I don't think there's anything wrong with having some 0 net carb alcohol, as long as that doesn't cause you to go crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Ooh, and that's the epitome of Southern comfort, right? I think they call it so.
Exactly. This was my husband's contribution to our conversation today. He's like, don't forget the Jack Daniels. Talk about awesome. The Tennessee whiskey. And don't get the flavored. You don't want the, cinnamony, sugary stuff. Just the straight up good stuff. And all of the alcohols that are clear and what I mean by clear is like the unflavored, uncandified. Those are all 0 net carbs.
Yeah.
And I did a whole episode on alcohol, if anyone is interested, where I show like a good, 25, 35 different products and talk about the net carbs per serving. You can look for that on YouTube.
Yeah. And for dessert, it just hit me. Your strawberry shortcake, I don't know if that's what it was called, but the one with the little biscuits with strawberries. Oh my God, I forget what you call that one.
But that one's also in the No Time to Cook cookbook.
Yeah. That would be a fabulous...
We're making plans. We are making plans. I'm getting hangry. I might need to stop and break. Well, I think that we have a good idea for what to have for dinner tonight.
Oh, man. I can't wait. And what does the final product look like, Stephanie?
Well, just to wrap up today's episode, I'd like to show you by the miracle of television that 25 minutes went by so fast that I have a final product to show everybody.
Okay.
So I'm going to hold it up here. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, wow.
Right from the oven.
Nice.
And you can see it has a nice golden brown hue, just like a normal cornbread would look like. And warm and delicious. I'm going to cut that, like I said, into 9 servings, and it'll only be 2 grams of net carbs per. And I'll serve that with my butter and my sugar-free syrup.
I cannot wait to try it.
Yeah, yours should be coming out the oven any second. Well, listeners, we hope you enjoyed today's live cooking episode. These are always very stressful and crazy on our end. So we hope that you enjoyed it. Poor Tamara. She is my guinea pig over there. But it's a lot of fun for us. And we want to encourage all of you to keep trying low-carb recipes. If you don't like this one, move on to the next one. There's always a substitute for whatever craving you're having. And in all of the Dirty Lazy Keto cookbooks, I'm trying to help you overcome any obstacle that might be in your path. So for more information, you can always check out the website.
I think we should sign off in our best Southern accent, and I'll say
Oh, no.
goodbye, y'all. Goodbye.
Y'all. Oh, no, that's just not good. Maybe
Too
I
Southern?
should have my iced tea first before I get inspired for my.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
Y'all come back now for the next week's podcast. All right. Oh,
Bye.
Bye. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Dirty Lazy Girl podcast. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Turn on your notifications so you'll never miss a video, and we'll see you next week.